All right. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Photography. That's right. This is a podcast show where we talk about cameras, lenses, lighting, modeling, business, and everything photography. That's right. I am your host, Robert Silver. And this week we have an awesome topic. We're going to be talking about, are trade shoots worth it? Trade photo shoots worth it anymore? I don't know. You let me know. Let's get into it. All right. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Let's Talk Photography. And I am your one man bandstand. That's right. I don't have a producer, I don't have a cat or a dog. I'm doing this all by myself, graphics and all. So if the slides don't look as smooth as they do, well, that is a problem. And that's tough luck. But this week, we are going to be tackling a topic I think, whether it be models, photographers, or any other creative is talking about. Okay, this always comes up, especially as we're trying to build our career and establish ourselves. It's kind of like a chicken and an egg, right? What comes first? Is it the uh, the kind of shoots we want, but then we have to create the kind of shoots. In other words, to get to entice people to want us to be a part of those creative shoots. But you can't have those kind of creative shoots without putting together a creative shoot. It's a weird situation. There's some pros and cons to TFP, or trade for prints. And but I started thinking, the reason why I brought up this topic is because me personally, as a photographer, I started to really question, is it even worth it? Okay. But I'm speaking for myself. I've been shooting over a decade now with all this gray hair to prove it. And but to help me decipher or come up with a conclusion to this question, I have some special guests today. That's right. Two beautiful guests right now on deck. Before we get into introducing our guests, I want to first talk about well, first, let's get the business out the way. If you haven't already, how dare you? If you haven't followed me, you better go ahead on Facebook at Robert Silver Photography. I'm also on Instagram, Robert Silver Photography, TikTok, and on Twitter. Rob Silver Photog on Twitter, because they got the short handles. Okay. So go ahead and follow me. And if you message me and you followed me, heck, I'll follow you back. How about them apples? All right. Follow for follow if that helps you out. Now, if you are curious about improving your photography, you sure can by going over to robertsilverphotography.com for my in-person and online workshops. Now, this channel takes effort. This knowledge I try to put together takes effort. Now, best way to support this channel besides smashing that like is by joining my Patreon, where I drop daily informational photography content on my Patreon, patreon.com/Robert Silver Photography. Who would have thought? Okay, that's right. It's Robert Silver Photography. Now, we already got a comment. Oh my goodness. I already know who. Oh, we got a couple real quick. Bam. We got Cooley in the house. What's going on? Surprise, I'm here. He Cooley actually tuned in about 10 to 15 minutes early. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna have to give him a Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's what you get, brother. And then Andre's in the house. Uh-oh. And Andre is a Patreon member. And because of that, he's gonna get a
Here comes the money.
there we go.
Money talk.
Thank you, Andre, for tuning in. Great, Robert. How's everything going? Everything is great, man. Today's topic, I think we're all going to be able to relate to. And I would love to hear everyone's feedback about trade shoots, okay? Leave no stone unturned this week, all right? Now, let's go over real quick the news, okay? Let's get the news going, cracking. All right. So, with that said, let's get this news action going. Hold on. I got to press one of the dang buttons. There we go. Before we go over what a TFP, oh, matter of fact, let me remove that. Let's add this one. Excuse me. Boom, boom, petapic. There we go. Check this out, folks. Wow. All right. This I thought was super interesting. Okay. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Yeah, there you go. Check this out. Have you heard of this photo app called Lemon 8 soars? It says it soars into US charts as TikTok faces ban. Folks are getting nervous. Folks are getting shook around here. And they're looking for that new hip app, whatever that cool one is. This one is supposedly trending. Okay. I went and joined this app just to see how it works. So I currently have, let me see if I can show you a profile on this bad boy right here. I just made it like yesterday. Okay. Can you guys see that? I made it right there. That's mine, Robert Silver. You can't have a long profile name, so I can't put photography, but it's Robert Silver nonetheless. And you could just go ahead. It's kind of interesting. It's like a new way of photo sharing app. It's like a 2.0 version of Instagram. So it's kind of interesting. I'm still getting used to it, how it works. I could see it's heavily geared toward beauty, fashion, and you know, supposed travel bloggers and whatnot. It's very heavily into that and foodie stuff. Photography does have some hashtag, like people are using those hashtags, but I can see it's definitely trying to cater a lot of content to the Gen Z folks, the TikTokers. But I did it anyway just to see what it's like because, despite our age or whatever, you got to be hip on the trends, got to check them out, see if it works for you. And then you can ride that trend train, if you will. All right. So it says here as TikTok may be facing a potential nationwide ban. Chinese parent company ByteDance has a contingency plan as its Instagram rival photo app Lemon 8 soared into the top 10. Okay, ByteDance has been quietly rolling out its new social media app Lemon 8, which is dubbed as a cross between Instagram and Pinterest. Oh, very much so, very much so. In the US and UK. It Lemon 8 soared into the US App Store charts. Top charts seemingly out of nowhere, becoming the number 10 overall app, both apps and games. Interesting. And this is why I had to check it out. Says, okay, so data.ai says the Lemon 8's meteoric rise from an unranked social media app to becoming in the top 10 free apps in the US, ahead of YouTube, WhatsApp, and Facebook, suggests a significant and recent user acquisition push. That means people are getting on it now. People are getting on it. The app that is paying creators to post. Well, hold on now. I like the sound of that right there. Lemon 8 allows users to post carousel like photos just like Instagram. However, in a similar way to style to Pinterest, it emphasizes specific lifestyle elements broken into 5 categories: fashion, beauty, food, fitness, and travel. Yeah, obviously, there's nothing about photography, but I don't even know where photography would fit unless you're doing fashion photography, fitness, or something like that. Lemonade encourages users to share where they bought things and help others users easily get to them. Um, when posting a photo, there is a section that allows users to tag each product in the photo with a brand and price. So yeah, it's kind of like Instagram and Pinterest, as I said. So anyway, I'm checking it out. Already started my profile and whatnot. Feel free, check it out. Let me know what you think about this. I have no relationship with these folks at all, but when it said top 10, et cetera, for marketing purposes, I always recommend, obviously social media marketing is a huge advantage for us independent entrepreneurs, to reach millions of people for basically free, and creating an audience to support your products and services. So if this is something new and if it continues to gain popularity, remember a thing called what was it before it was um not TikTok before that. Oh, Vine. Remember how popular Vine was? And then now no one says Vine. or fine. It's a done deal. So you never know what can happen with TikTok or any of these apps. I just utilize them not to rely on in terms of my social equity, but in terms of building an audience. So if they switch over to there, I want to be there. And that's why I even have a presence on TikTok. It may not be huge, but it's because if people are there for a reason. And I'd rather have my content be there as well, and not leave my branding head stuck in the sand. So there you go. ByteDance's photo app Lemon 8. I easily downloaded it, pretty easy to set up. And let me know what you think about this. Post your comments down below. So you already know what to do. All right. Now, that was the photo news for the day. All right, let's get to the main topic. Now, before we get to the main topic, I want to go ahead and introduce my guest of the evening. That's right. I have two beautiful guests. First and foremost, because Sandy's been sitting there staring at me since 15 minutes before the show started. Let's get her on deck. Okay, let me get this right. All right. And then, folks, you know Sandy. If you know my photography, you've seen her on my page, and you're about to see the next model on my page too. So you go ahead and here she is, Sandy in the house. There we go. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Right? All right. My audience isn't that damn big. So all right. So Sandy, you may know her from, come on, what am I doing here? What kind of a host am I? Bam! At Beauty and the Stain. Go check her out on Instagram. I will have Sandy's and our next guest Instagram handles, the links down below. So make sure you go check that out. But otherwise, you go check them out right now. Beauty and the Stang. And then for my next guest, I have coming in. Oh, wait. Looks like is it muted? Are you muted? You're
I
muted?
don't think.
Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. Cool. So for my next guest, and I can see she has beautiful curly hair, golden curly hair. I love it. All right. We actually did an awesome shoot together about a week ago. So you guys about to see those photos. All right. And here she comes. You may know her because you've seen her on my show at least twice. And here she comes in. She coming in from Nigeria by way of Bay Area. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Right? And you know what? I'm gonna give her a Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right. All right. You know what? This is just the beginning of the show. And who would have known? I was actually very tired before the show, believe it or not. So I want to say thank you both for joining this conversation. She actually, when you were with me, when we were shooting, it actually dawned on me like this question. And then I just dug deeper after our shoot, by the way. And the about TFP and stuff like that. And so I want to say thank you for instigating this show. Basically, you subconsciously instigated the show. But before we get really dig into this, ladies, okay, there you go, model researcher. Yeah, she's highly intelligent, super fun, and super professional. She doesn't play. But before we get into things, let's start with the meat and potatoes here. Whoa, look at that. And chop Sandra's hold on, let me see if I can. Oh, there we go. Heyo. Okay. What does TFP mean? Now, let me go ahead and pull this up in case nobody, let's just, I never assume people know what it means. So let's start from the beginning. All right, here we go. It's official. According to, what is this? Makeuseof.com. Interesting. Whatever. TFP. Did somebody just, oh, okay. I thought I heard something. TFP is a term that you might have seen online, especially newly interested in photography modeling. Okay. The acronym, everybody, there's like a few ways to say it, obviously, right? So what is it? It stands for time for prints. Sometimes you may also see it used as trade for prints or time for portfolio, or without the acronym, simply as trade work. They all mean the same thing. You may even seen more obvious offers such as free photo shoot. TFP is something usually offered by photographers who are looking to shoot some work without cost. Everyone involved benefits from receiving photos after the shoot. Nobody pays or gets paid, but everyone is considered equally involved with their labor. Therefore, everyone receives photos or prints as payment. Okay? So, ultimately, a lot of times, here, let me get to my face here. The most important part of the show. Okay. Um, a lot of times folks use trade shoots to do two things. One is to increase their portfolio, right? I would say three now. Uh, social media content, like, oh, let's collab, let's get some content, right? And then and the other thing is to practice using gear, right? Um, models I've worked with more regularly be like, oh, I got a new outfit or this, that, and the third. Would you want to shoot with it? And that's something, on their end too. But ultimately we're trading our time for content, right? So let me get to my first question. Now that we got that out the way, for those that don't know what TFP. So if you have any questions, everybody, post them. Okay. And then we're going to have plenty of time for you to ask the models questions or anything, or ask me a question or whatnot, or a statement. It's all good. This is the time to do it. First is, aside from working with me, okay. Matter of fact, don't talk about working with me. I know it's wonderful. No, um, in general, ladies, how's your experience been working, shooting for trade? Like in general, overall, who would like to go first?
You go first.
She,
Wanna go-
she, you.
you
Let
want
me
me to go
tell you.
first?
Hold on, hold on, hold on. I have to stop this train right now. I want a little disclaimer. These two can talk me till I'm blue in the face. Let me tell you, when we're by ourselves, we talk. We talk. Okay. So, ladies, come on, come with it. What has been your experience? Chi, you've shot for a long time. Matter of fact, both of you have been signed, um, have walked in numerous shows, done plenty of photo shoots. So when it comes to trade overall, what has been your experience, whether it be good or bad? What has been your overall experience?
Ooh, yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, I'll start. I've I think at the beginning it was really important because I used to pay photographers, and sometimes I didn't get like the good quality photos that I needed for my book. This is like getting to 10 years ago now.
Mm.
And at that point it was kind of like I started to question, like, who to shoot with and what value I'm getting out of it. And then a lot of the work that I would do for like agencies, as soon as I got signed, I realized that they didn't really want any of the photos that I was taking. So I'm taking all kinds of fun photos, running, dancing, jogging, somersaulting, whatever. And then when I tried to submit those to the agencies, they didn't really care for them. They wanted me to pay another amount to go get professional shots done that looked really basic, that looked in a certain way. And that's when I started to really um, really question the value of trade shoots. And I really had to be selective to make sure that the person I'm working with can help me meet my goals. And I do have a lot of goals. So that's sort of like the key thing that I feel like I have to make sure happens when we do a photo is that I have goals and the photo shoot is meeting my goals. Once in a while, I'll do stuff for fun, just because I have time. But yeah, both are times available, so I like to work to make sure that I'm meeting my goals, regardless of if it's just fun related too.
So you're saying that at first it was like, "Oh, this is great. Yeah, I get photos, you get photos, we should win." But then when the rubber met the road and you're trying to level up, it was almost like just shooting to shoot didn't make sense, right? There
Right.
was it didn't help you in the long run because without a plan, a game plan, you walked into the office of an agency a bit blind, if you will, not knowing what they wanted, and then therefore ultimately it wasted your time.
Right, right. And that was like years of years, because at that time, I second guessed myself. I used to have like acne. I was like super skinny. I was like, oh, when I'm good enough. So when I've taken X amount of photos, then I'll be good enough. When my hair looks, my skin is clear, then I'll be good enough. So I kept giving myself all these like bars of what I had to meet and all the photographers I had to work with before I would feel like I was good enough for industry, but then it turned out that I didn't need any of those. So that was sort of the big wake up call for me. I
Wow.
didn't even
Oh,
need a photo shoot, to be honest. In some cases, like some people did, but in some agency cases, like the last one I signed with, I didn't even send them my photo. I think I just had to take a selfie, and that was about it.
reality check. Wow. All right. And Sandy, what yeah, I know, Sandy and I go back super far back, and so and I know her family and everything. So I've witnessed a lot, but my audience doesn't, and I'm sure they want to hear. What has been your experience with shooting for trade shoots?
I have not been shooting for trade until very recent with you.
Okay.
And
Wow.
that necessarily for trade, it was more for um like a shoot for publication type of thing. But I steered away from TFPs primarily because I didn't know, if I didn't know the photographer and didn't know their history, I wouldn't I'm not so trusting to do TFPs unless I absolutely know the photographer. Um and that's where it stopped with me. I usually just paid for a lot of my photos because I had a certain, criteria of what type of photos needed to be taken for the agency. And then after that, when I got, more in my craft and more seasoned, then I would, present the idea of trade for photos. But I steered away from it because I have more control when I pay for the photos. Like I have more control over how I wanted them presented, you know or any suggestions I had with the photographer, because I don't think it's beneficial for either if it's trade for photo and you're and the model is so demanding. It's like, you're not, well, I'm not getting paid for it, and you don't want either or to feel a certain way about doing the pictures. One's taking the picture, but the other one's being like, dramatic about it. But but both want the end result to be, you know, top tier.
Equal.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a fine line with trade for photos, and I prefer not to do those because of that fine line. I rather
Mm.
just pay for it for the quality.
Yeah, I remember that even you came like, "Hey, Robert," a couple years ago, and I understand what you mean. I made one of my earliest videos on YouTube. I actually talked about um to trade or not to trade. That is the question. I think was like the title or something. And one of the benefits I said about paying for a shoot is that you get total control. You're the client now. You're not just a model hoping and wishing they'll get around to giving you your photos, right? Now, the point, photographers, of this video is not to say, hey, look, models, you know, dislike, etc., etc. There's plenty of models that do, but I want you to know what their perspective so that you can create an opportunity that is beneficial for quality models, right? I just showed you a few photos of Sandy, but let's go ahead and be Snoopy around here and check out Cheese page right here. That's right, I pulled it up, Chi. Okay. Uh-oh. Good Lord. What was that? Okay. All right. There we go. All right. So, there she is. Great smiles, great personality. There she is. So if you want to get nice models that are hardworking or silly, trust and believe they want something in return. photographers, this is insight from our from models that will create great work for you. All right. What is this? Oh no. I like the lighting on your face. And but they need something in return. Okay? Does that make sense, photographers? They need something in return. If you make it beneficial for them, trust and believe, they will come and deliver and bring positivity to the
You
set.
should
All
share,
right.
you should share my model page too if you want to see the photos.
Oh, I didn't know which one you okay, you know what? You're okay. We gotta
It's
help.
on the
It's the other
yeah,
one, the fit,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, you know what? DJ fashion photo. Okay, all right. I'm
You
confused.
can kind
Anyway,
of scroll down and see the photos.
all right, here we go. Here we go. Part two. Part two. That's all right. Hold on, I got a sound effect for that one. That was a big L on my part. All right, here she goes. Go follow her here too. She's got 2 pages. All right.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I see. I got model chats and stuff. All right. Oh, here she. You're walking right here, right?
right.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna be nosy there. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Okay, look at that. How tall are you, by the way?
I'm almost 5'9", so kind of like that
This is
5'8", 5'9".
this is us back in the day when I shot you on the
No,
runway.
this is like 2015 or
Good.
16,
Look. God damn.
so
I can't
long
believe.
ago.
I know. Don't tell me. Okay, keep that to yourself. I got an audience. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, this is amazing. How time flies for sure. Okay, that's when I saw you two there. And then
yeah,
I like the lighting here. This is gorgeous too.
yeah,
So, oh, this is yeah, I like that. That's pretty.
Pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty. So, with that said, folks, I've been there with you. In some cases, I am still there. I've struggled to try to find the right model and stuff like that. But what's helped me is to kind of like what both the models are saying is that like if it gets to the point where you need a particular level of quality, otherwise it doesn't benefit you. That's why I said
right,
in my previous videos, we got to do our homework, photographers, put together the shoot, not only just the idea of what day you may want to shoot, the concept, etc., so that they feel more secure that you are not just wasting their time. Because gas is expensive, time is expensive, and a lot of times they're traveling from different parts of the Bay Area in my case. So you got to really make it worth their while. Okay. And then deliver on your promise, for heaven's sakes, you sons of guns out there. All right.
yeah.
We got a couple
I
of
wanted
comments.
to add, I wanted to
Uh-oh.
add something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like if you see my photos, because I took a break from modeling, pandemic, and then also going to grad school. So
Okay.
I needed to do TFPs to kind of get back into the game, finding my footing, knowing who to work with, getting some updated photos. So that's something that I would say has been helpful. Like I had, even just looking at my Instagram, I realized, oh, I took so many photos and now I can't figure out what to post because I have to be more careful about what I'm posting. But because I just did a lot of work with random people, I didn't have like enough, that option, right? So that was
Oh,
a lesson that I had to learn.
all right. See, and that so you just brought up a great tip. Photographers, how about you actually talk to the models, see what they actually need in their portfolio, and then figure out a way in which you can fulfill that need for their portfolio and direction they want to go with their work, and then therefore making the TFP photo shoot more valuable. Does that sound like that makes sense?
Yeah,
Because it sounds like go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I agree. And I also respect the photographer needing to do something for themselves as well. They have like a vision and they want to, see that. It could be them wanting to practice their skill set. I think being really clear on what that is. Like I've done TFP shoots just for fun to help a photographer practice. In that case, like I charge because I didn't really feel like I had a benefit there.
Mm,
um yeah, so I've
that makes
done that a couple of times, and sometimes the
okay.
photos ended up being okay and I didn't really care about what they did with the photos. And then I've had TFP where we had like a mutual agreement of what we wanted. So yeah, so these are the things to consider.
Okay, fantastic. All right, we got a couple comments. All right, we got Cooley in the house. Do you watermark your images? I do not. That's right, I don't. And the reason is because I realize that uh with technology, AI, you get a mobile app, they can rip those watermarks off. Secondly, I have the original, which is raw, so if I find out they're using it commercially, well, you can't get more original than the raw, and I will be suing. And thirdly, all the biggest photographers I noticed never post with watermarks on them, not on their website, not on their social content. So I said, well, if these six-figure photographers aren't doing it, despite the landscape, despite technology, well, then I'm not gonna. And then I just decided just because of that. Because I've told you folks, if you're looking for ways to brand yourself or up your level of your business, look what the big boys are doing. Look at the Fortune 500. They're setting, there's trends, there's common denominators, there's certain things that they just do that works. And one of them, so that's what I started to apply. I looked at the bigger photographers. What are they all doing? And they all don't post with watermarks. So I said, then why the hell am I? And there you go. And if you do find out someone's using it, then you go ahead and sue their ass, and that's it. But I'm not gonna. I'd rather just let my work speak for itself. And if people want to pay for your work or for your time, they will. So that's my answer to watermarks. And quite honestly, models rather get without watermarks anyway. Nobody wants my big old fat watermark, Chi or Sandy, right? You rather get a nice clean photo, right? Their job is not,
Correct.
if they want to let people know they love working with me, they'll let them know with their mouth. They don't have to put watermarks all over it and act like a damn advertisement. Cooley comes back. Do not make me stop this car. Well, my bad.
Oh yeah!
But that is my job, brother. I'm gonna make you stop this car, okay? It was probably from all my sound effects earlier. And Cooley comes back. How much do you get involved in the concept that the photographer is doing? That's a fantastic question. All right, Sandy. How much, like, when we come, well, okay, we can talk about our experience because we do shoot often enough, but how much do you get involved in the concept development of photo shoots? And then Chi, I would love to hear you after her. Okay, go for it.
I like to get involved um, a lot because I have a growing following. So I have uh, much needed impression on my page, and I'm sure the photographer does too. And I want both to look good. So I'm going to say something. If I'm trying to get to the top, whoever I have on my team that's working with me, helping me get there, I have to put in my suggestions or it's not going to work. If it's just one sided, I cannot work with you. That's just
Mm,
how I am. And I learned to put my foot down earlier in my younger years. Sometimes models can get bullied by the photographers who have experience and they know a lot, but there's a specific look to each model that they work with and that works for them. So I try to stick with that look, and that look is what gets me um, requested. So when that's changed up, it kind of it detours me from whatever photographer I have to deal with, especially if I'm offering to pay for, um, like a shoot, or if I'm offering to, you know, here, let me, get you exposed on my page. Um, and you'll get your following from my page type of thing. Um, it could get it can get sticky if you guys are butting heads. So I like to know that I'm on the same level with the photographer as far as what how we're trying to make this look like and how it's being presented to both audiences, my audience and your audience. I'm not difficult to work
Oh,
with. I'll just say that. I'm
no,
very
she's not.
stern.
She's
What I want.
100%, and I think that's great. And she, I know she's very particular too, and I think that's why I respect you two both. And Chi, I know we just started working together, but I just loved how we smashed. How many looks was it? 3 or 4 in 4? Okay,
Mhm.
we did 4 looks in like
Five.
I want
Yeah.
to say 45 minutes. It was nuts. Absolutely, I couldn't believe it. It was a world record. A world record. That's right. It was crazy, and she smashed it positive and rolled with the punches. That's what I liked. And Sandy's a beast too. Um, I think those are great advice. Let's get to a couple more good old comments. Here we go. Which one here? Okay. So that was from Cooley. Next one is what about comp cards? Ever trade them? I mean, let's talk about comp cards. Have you two done comp cards at all or no?
Um, yeah, I have a comp card. I kind of created it myself. I'm looking to make a new one actually. So that's something that I'm trying to figure out what the best route to do that is.
And do you has it been useful having a comp card nowadays?
For the runway shows, yes, for the ones that matter, it's helpful. But for other types of jobs, not so much, since we typically use like a booking site or you go through your agent. So they typically don't require that. They usually require self tapes and photos. So yeah, I think the fashion, the more high fashion clients, I think they tend to like come cards and the fashion show industry as well.
Okay. And then Sandra, comp cards, do you use them? And if so, where are they most useful?
I agree with Chi. I typically either use it with like if I'm trying to get with a high end agent or agency or in a fashion show if they're trying to see like 4 different looks. That's about the only time that I use it. Or to, maybe show off on Instagram just for other agencies to see it on my page. But otherwise, I don't typically use it much. I don't have to. I think it's
Oh,
more useful for a beginner.
for what?
I think it's more useful for a beginner who a new model that's trying to work her way up. Then comp cards are definitely needed because you're trying to get yourself out there. So that's definitely useful. But if you have a portfolio like myself and Chi, then kind of like, well, here you go, and they typically just look through that. But
Copy
yeah.
that. All right. All right. Well, there you go. There you go, Cooley. Some answers from the ladies at work here. They don't play. All right.
I
Andre comes. Oh, what was that one?
Oh yeah, I have to add, it's also important to have like your measurements, especially if you want
Oh
to
yeah.
for something and you're not available. It's kind of nice to have it on hand because we often forget. So I think that for me, that's the best benefit I've seen with a comp card, is being able to
Okay.
just show that really quickly.
Oh, reference to your measurements,
Yeah.
especially and ergo the fashion shows like you mentioned. Okay. Andre comes in with a question. As someone that is interested in coming back into photography, I look at TFP as a way to build portfolio. So I see it as beneficial for both parts, but there is a risk of poor quality. 100%. Okay. And that can be very bad on both ends because you don't want the model to go off saying, gosh, that could have been better. Because that's horrible. Right. And vice versa. Right. Vice versa. Like, oh God, I couldn't get anything out of her or him. And that was a total waste of time. That has happened to me. Trust me. And and I think that's why I've tightened up with who I work with and become more selective, very much like Chi. So yes, you're absolutely right. It can be beneficial for both, Andre, 110%. Can't argue about that. Question for the ladies. Do do you search? Hold on, I got a great when I do this here. Do you search for quality photographers for TFPs? What you prioritize in them when looking for one? Hold on. All right. All right. I just added that one like 2 weeks ago. I love it. Anyway, so let's go with Chi first, okay?
I have to say, I love your energy and your random like outbursts. Like it's just great. I need to
Thank
learn
you.
that.
Go
I,
for it.
yeah, for TFP, I'll say at the beginning, at first I was like, I just want to work with photographers. I was like, happy, yay. And then I got some really weird photographers and photos. And then I realized, okay, I need to make sure I'm safe. One, make sure that I look at the photographer's work to ensure that it's matching the quality. Even if
Mm,
I'm, having fun, like I need to make sure that I can use these photos for something that I want to even post them on my page,
and
so that's the
where
thing.
do you where do you look for that quality though?
Where do I look for that? So because we have, in the Bay Area, we kind of have like a network of people that we already kind of know. And this is from having worked in lots of runways, having just kind of networked around the Bay Area. So there's some pretty good photographers around, and there's a lot of amateur aspiring photographers as well. So they're often available in like groups, like the Bay Area Model Group. I'm friends with a lot of them. Um, and I kind of see this availability of people asking quite often. But outside of that, I realize I need to go out and search for people who are already established and know their craft. So, for example, when I go to New York, I had to reach out to photographers. I ask photographers, who do you look up to? Where do I find these photographers? And often they, charge like thousands of dollars because they're like, I'm a celebrity photographer. Um, so then I think the TFP comes in really handy because I have to show to them that, I'm also bringing my expertise and helping you out here. So that's how I would get to work TFP with like really high quality photographers. But oftentimes photographers have done a lot of experimental work and sometimes don't have a need for me at that time. So I always have to meet them, sort of kind of how I met you, Robert, like meet them at their point of need and also ensure that I'm getting my value too. So yeah, it can be challenging because, as people get more, on the rung of the ladder, they become more exclusive and they're like, oh, you can't find me anymore. Like, you know.
You're in my
So
club,
yeah,
so
have that
uh,
happen.
and now, Sandra, do the photographers you're thinking about working, do you look at their Instagrams when you're searching for quality as Andre's asking for?
I look for everything before I even agree to any TFP. And typically, the photographers that I look at with the standard of quality that I'm looking for, they do not do TFP. So
Wow.
um it's only photographers that are trying to get out there, or they have something specific that they're looking for that they don't have a model or someone for, that typically does TFP. And there's a lot of great photographers that I experience in the car scene that they need a particular car and they're like, hey, you take really good pictures, can I take a picture of you, can I, and we can trade. And that's how that comes about. But for fashion and high fashion modeling, I don't typically find a photographer that is well seasoned and well sought after that does TFP. And if they're doing TFP, is for something extremely specific in my experience.
Well, I'll be that was a reality check right there, folks. Okay. She looks for the ones not doing TFP. Damn. Okay, that's a mic drop. Yeah, I gotta get a mic drop
No,
going.
that's not the
Okay.
case. I don't, I mean, if it's a
I'm just
trade
playing with it.
for
I'm teasing.
photos, I know, but if it's trade for, I don't want to discredit those, doing TFP, because there's a lot of amazing photographers that do TFP. I haven't gotten into cahoots with them
Mm.
to even experience that. I've only been in cahoots with certain photographers looking for something very, very specific. And the ones that I go after are ones that I, have to pay because I know their quality of work. So I'm just going to pay
You,
for that.
you know what you're gonna get. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that makes sense. I can't blame you. All right. Cooley says, got to like focus models, 110%. And and like I said, as I grow in wisdom, age, and then experience, I've tightened my net of models I work with just because I like the consistency. I know what I'm gonna get. The energy and chemistry is there, which is super important because it could just drag things. Professionalism, um, and of course their body of work. I look personally as a photographer. I look at their Instagram. I see how they move, right? What they're up to, etc. If I notice you're out there tick tick thoughting all day, I don't want my work to be associated with that. It won't get me anywhere, and it's certainly not what agencies want to see. So I don't want to be associated with that. So I look at that too. Just if there's any models watching, but the models I work with don't do that, so we're good. Andre is laughing, and then Venusa is laughing even more. What the heck is that?
You were thinking a
Okay.
little bit. I was like, tick-tocking? Tick-totting?
Tick thoughting. You understand what I'm talking about. Go to TikTok. You know what time it is. Okay, folks. We all know what tick thought is. It's a major L. Okay. Don't do it, ladies. Don't do the tick thought. All right. Don't become one. But that's a quick way for me to never work with you. But nonetheless, that's how when I look, you know, for you and I, Chi, we've been wanting to work with each other for some time, but it was just finding the right time and how we add value to each other, etc. I'm really
Right.
glad we did our test shoot. Awesome chemistry, and I was really impressed with how fast you blew up. You just went through those 4 looks, quick, short of time, no whining. You were personable, brought the energy. It was great. So for sure, there'll be more. And Sandy and I, well, we always hang out, so we always gonna find something to do. Venusa uh is one of my awesome go-to models too. We all know Venusa, right? And if you don't, shame on you, folks. Go follow her too. She's there on Instagram. She's an awesome model. Um, Andre
Yeah.
said, "Thank you for the answers." That's right. Okay, that's for you two ladies. Okay, that wasn't for me. He could reach out to me all the time. I know he's saying thanks to you. Vic comes in. TFP worth it. That depends on the parties involved. I am selective. You hear that? I am selective. I don't just work with anybody. Personality and professionalism is what I like. I also research everyone, brands and models, absolutely beforehand, 110%. There's no way around it because you are the company you keep. We've all heard that expression, right?
Yep.
And that's why Sandy's rather in her model is I rather pay for the quality. Screw it, just so I can at least be associated with some good stuff. And she's out there like a detective, figuring out whether I should work with you or not. So, but this is what good models do. This is why you see the work they create. I showed you their Instagrams. If you want that kind of work and attract that kind of models and respect from those models, this is what they're doing. So you want to position yourself and brand yourself, photographers, in such a light where in which they want to and are excited to be a part of what you got going on. Sandra didn't say complete no to TFP, but she says you gotta offer something to the table. And she as well. She's like, look, I need a specific portfolio. It needs to serve me professionally. What do you got? You know? And I think that's fair because if this is trade, then it needs to be a trade. Am I right, ladies? It needs to be a
Exactly.
trade. Uh,
Exactly.
Chi, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I said exactly, exactly. I learned my lesson because I was out there because I didn't know anything. And that's why I have, the model chats on live because I made a lot of mistakes. And part of those mistakes was just taking random photos.
But that's okay because now you are solid in what you found in your findings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
and
make
I
mistakes too, enough to be too cautious about it. So I just don't do certain things. Like,
Yeah, I
I wish I
respect
was
it. I
more
respect that you
weird.
know what you're looking for.
Yeah,
I
I
I
wish I
respect the
was
hell
more
out of it.
eager to learn, but once you make all those mistakes, hey, you're still young. I mean, I'm still making mistakes and I'm older, so it's like, you know, you served your purpose. You learned, you now you're doing major things.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna ask, for me, you can let me know. This is a question for you, Robert. So sometimes like I have like a work that I want to do, like let's say I want to sell something and I want to do TFP because let's say I don't have the I'm using it as TFP, right? And I want to sell the item that I'm doing TFP for. Um, how do you perceive that sort of content? So, for example, I reached out to you, and I this person was actually going to pay, but you wanted like a certain amount of things done for that specific photo. How do you navigate, what that sort of a request?
Trade value. Okay, so you have product A, whatever that is, and you
Yeah,
want to
it could
do a
be like
trade
this.
shoot.
Yeah, like this jacket, for example.
Like let's say that jacket.
Yeah.
First is be extremely honest. Um, because I know what a commercial photography like I know how commercial photography works, and technically if you're selling or promoting a product, that's commercial photography. And there's a whole different row of a different set of a rate sheet completely compared to a model shoot, portfolio shoot, headshots, right? Not that I'm totally against doing this, but being forthright and honest. Hey, this is what I have. Some photographers want that in their portfolio, but don't have it. Right? And one way to attract the client is by, I always say, create the kind of work you want to get paid for. Right? So if you're completely honest, hey, look, I have this great vest that you have on right now, and I really like it. It's one of my first pieces. I want to put it out there. Are you, and just be honest, this is what it is. This is what I'm using it for, because that's where commercial license it's usage licensing fees. That's what I'm using it for. I want to use it to do X with this, promote my stuff. And it's basically fashion or product photography, whichever it is, whether you're doing a flat lay or more of a lifestyle shoot or whatever. Just be extremely clear what's your intentions on using the photos, and then saying the compensation, saying whether it's a trade or whatnot, and then being honest, being straight up, because some people actually need that in their portfolio. Like, I like headshots. Does that make sense? And then you put it on their table, boom, and then they're adults. Yes, I'm down. Let's do it. This could be fun. I've got an idea, and then you guys can start building. Or they say no, no disrespect, because there is a significant cost usually in commercial photography, but it allows to put the ball in their court in the most honest way. Does that make sense? I've had it done the sneaky way. Okay. I'll want to say if I set up a shoot with you, Chi or Sandy, and all of a sudden they're wearing their friend's jeans, and all of a sudden their friend wants to put it on their site, on their social media, and sell the jeans with my photo. I'm like, nope, that doesn't go down that way. And that's what I mean. They try to sneak it in and be sneaky peeky about it. Oh, that's my friend. And no, I don't play that, because there's a whole fee to it. I didn't ask for their product for free. You know what I mean? I'm trying to just work with the model. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Yeah? Okay, cool. All right. So I hope that helps. So just be honest. There's photographers that want to do product photography. There's photographers who want to do commercial photography who don't have the portfolio yet. So trust me, there's plenty of people who want to do that for trade. But just in case you bump into a photographer, let's say me, and you want to do it for trade, okay, cool. Let's see how we both could win. And first way of doing that, when you have good intentions, is just being honest. It's pretty old school. So I hope that helps.
Right.
Um, we have here we go. Look at Venusa. She says, I am watching and learning. That's what I'm talking about right there. Watching and learning and laughing. What? We can't be laughing around here, okay? I'm the only one with the bad jokes. All right, cool. And then she comes in with some good hand claps right there. That's what I'm talking. Those are either hand claps, prayers, or I don't know what that emoji is. So somebody help me understand what the hell that is. I always figured it's a high five, but what is that, ladies? What is that? Is that a prayer hand? High five? I don't know.
What
Um,
you want it to be.
Positive
whatever you want it to be. There we go. It's my world. Thank you very much. Sandy, what do you think those damn emoji hands are? I always thought it was high fives.
support for sure.
Yeah? Okay. Well, there we go. I like the whatever you think it is. I like that answer. Here we go. We have Roy coming in. Yo, he says, "Oh, he loves her hair. That's right, hair. Yes, awesome. I love the cheese hair. It's all out there. I love it, and it's curly tips." And then we got coming in, Cooley coming in. You guys bring a friends to your photo shoots? Oh, that's a great question. Hold on now, ladies, do you bring friends? People I have no clue who they are, strangers, or even your pets to photo shoots. Do you?
Waiting for that song.
I know. I was waiting to use it one more time. Anyway, okay. So, Sandy, do you bring people to photo shoots, and if so,
I
why?
don't hate it.
Why?
I hate bringing unless it's like unless it's like a combo photo shoot that I have with like my kids or something. No, I don't like having anyone with me on the photo shoots because I'm in a certain energy and element, and if if like another party's there and just it's a distraction for me, so it's a definite no. I like to be there focused on my own. I have a specific idea of what I want to do. I don't want that my mind changed on anyone else's suggestions. I just want to do what I do and that's it.
Wow. All right. And Chi, how about you? Have you, or do you? And if so, why?
Mostly I don't, but I sometimes see it as helpful. For example, if I need help, like getting ready quickly or makeup, that sort of thing, or I just want company because I don't know the person I'm working with yet, and I'm going somewhere really far that I've never been to, and I usually do ask if I can have like someone come with me, and that's usually helpful. I don't often do it when I'm sure what I'm doing. And then, like, for example, my partner, if I feel like the person's going to be an additional value to the shoot and they're looking for more people, then that's when I'll bring them, or they can help out, that sort of thing. But with the photographer's knowledge, of course.
Right on. Well, there you go. I hope that helped you out, Cooley. Vic comes in. He says, "It's a thanks emoji." All right. Well, thank you, brother. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Venusa says, "What? Thank you, girls, for sharing your modeling experience." Oh, now that
Aw,
is
thank
that's
Yeah,
cute. Hold on, let me see if I have something for that.
nice.
I don't know if I do, but you know what? We're gonna dance to this one, okay, Venusa? I know you got dance. You're a Brazilian. Here we go. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, we'll
that
dance on behalf of Venusa in
is
happy.
not Brazilian.
No, that was my Latino, and, I had a Latin guest, and, shout out to Lewis, he's over there on the East Coast, and every time I'd introduce him, I'd play that music.
That's
Anyway,
Wow.
inappropriate or not, it was close enough. Vic comes in, "You're killing me with the sound effects." Oh, you better believe it, brother, okay? I got nothing but sound effects over here, and if you want me to stop, I'm gonna say so that's what I will say, all right? Matter of fact, I have 8 more banks of sound effects to add to this,
oh
okay?
no. Get them
I
started.
know, I know, I know. I even have this when I wanna really get serious. Yeah. When it's time to get serious about photography, this is this is the jam, okay? I want all of the photographers to get real. Anyway, that's my sound effect. Oh, and Vanessa said, "Oh, she liked that music." Okay, 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 okay. All right, I'm acting a fool right now. Let's get back to the questions here. Um, woo, this is without coffee too, so watch out.
Yikes.
I know. Uh, has shooting TFP helped you at all? like I know there's pros and cons, but has it helped you at all? And if so, in what way? Chi?
Yeah, I think it has helped me. I would say like the one of the photos that you posted was by Vince Gotti. He's like a magazine photographer. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that has helped me. Not really like I would like to book anything, but it's just more so like people really like that photo for whatever reason. It was just more so like a campaign, like sharing the photos. It does help with
Which
having
one?
content. It's all on the modeling page, all the way down.
Down, down,
Uh,
down.
yeah, with the one with the towel head.
Okay. This one here.
Yeah, people seem to like the photo a lot. Not on this. I mean, it was I posted it before, and it got like more likes than a lot of the other photos I had posted. So sometimes it is like nice in that way.
Next photo.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say this photographer by Mauricio Palomar. It was TFP. It was very professionally done. I think that was the inspiration for our shoot, right?
This
You
one
saw that
here.
photo. It was the one up top, but there was more photos from there. And that photo, it won a couple of awards. So it
This one
was
here.
more beneficial. No, the one at the bottom, but there's more. It's maybe if you check on the highlights, then you could kind of see more.
Copy that.
Um,
Which highlight?
highlights, the lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
Yeah, so that one.
Oh yeah, I like that
Yeah,
photo. That's
so
the
you like that photo.
I like that photo.
Yeah,
Hold on.
this is from our shoot. But if you keep scrolling or go backwards, there are some photos that you really
Yeah,
liked.
I like that one for
Yeah, and
sure.
it was like top 100, and I felt like it was more beneficial to him more so than me at that point. But yeah, people liked it. I would say that was it.
The one
Um,
with the gold. With Vince.
the one with not the one with the Vince. This one was with Vince, but it was people just liked
Oh,
it.
top
But this
100. You
one,
saying?
it won awards for him, and I had no clue until I saw that poster
Oh,
on.
that's
I saw it on his
oh.
website. Um, but outside of that, it's been helpful. My current headshot, the one on my photo, the one for the NFT, that photo, I didn't even, it was like, there was not really makeup. It wasn't even edited. It was like
Mhm.
a really good photographer from my church who took that photo last year.
Oh,
And the
okay.
top one, the top one, the one that you like the lighting,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I like
so
this
that's
one
like
here.
that's my recent headshot. The one with the colorful clothes and the colorful hair, kind of like how I have now. It's kind of highlighted. That one,
Right here.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I love this photo. There was literally like not that much effort put into it, but it
Mm.
just turned out it was like natural lighting, was
Yeah,
outside,
that
and
natural
it ended
lighting.
up being like one of my favorite photos, like my LinkedIn profile, my everything profile. So in that case, I'll say the trade was, and the photographer like gave me that ability to use it. Like he said, take this photo, you can use it for whatever you need. So I would say there's a couple that have been really helpful.
Beneficial.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my other photos, for example, like I paid for them or I got them while working.
And
Most of
then
my photos,
Sandra,
yeah.
what
Yes.
about you?
Um.
Has
This.
shooting TFP helped you at all?
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. I don't typically do TFP, but if it pertains to like, you
We
know,
just did one last month.
yeah, that
But
one is totally beneficial. I'm saying I
oh,
don't typically do it, but
I know. I
in
figured this is one time where it worked
in
out for all of us.
our that one was extremely beneficial. That one was extremely nice. That turned out the photo was beautiful. Um, and then for because my page is half dedicated to modeling and half dedicated to my car movement. Um, the photos that I got for my cars, that's definitely beneficial. So yeah, it does benefit. It just depends on the photographer and how I would say seasoned they are and
Mm.
how well they do their photos. So
Yeah,
the
so they
quality
have
isn't
worked.
good, then
So it has helped you in terms of branding your page and stuff like that.
branding my page and branding the photographer. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Uh,
yeah, I love
Go
his
for it.
photos. And I Sandy has such a unique look too. I kind of like that. Like the photography that she's done seems to like really bring out her unique look.
Her features.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And 100%. I think that's goes to both of your point when you're saying you're selective on a photographer and can they emphasize the positives of my look and enhance me, not in a retouchy way, which that never hurts when needed, but like just naturally being able to with their skill. So kudos to both of you.
Yeah.
Again, photographers, what the advice they're sharing is really to help you step up your game when you want to attract the level of models that will literally elevate your portfolio. That's the point. But you have to elevate the quality for them too. It's a give, thus the trade, right? That's the point.
Right.
Let's talk about wait, we do have two comments. Hold on before we get into that. Uh Vic says the car is dope. That's what I'm talking about. We already know that's Sandra. That's Beauty in the Stang
I
right
ripped
there.
nails to build that car.
You broken nails to build the car?
No, ripped off
Oh, you
nails.
ripped off. Okay, ripped. Okay, I gotta use the right terminology. Ripped off. You got it. I'm not gonna mess with a woman who drives a Mustang. I'll tell you that right now. And then,
Car,
what was that?
any muscle car, because we know how
Oh,
to
okay,
tear car apart and bring it right back together again.
that's what's up. And then Cooley says, "What about makeup artists for shoots?" Um, what first? Okay, well, I got. Hold on, I got something right here. Okay, you got it, Chi. I got your thing. Okay. Um. Okay, real quick. Last question, Chi. How about that? Okay. Do you need?
Mhm.
Are you? Anyway, let me get back to the questions. I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
What about makeup artists for shoots? First of all, do you require them? And yeah, let's start with that. What about makeup artists for shoots
I would recommend.
and why?
It saves time. And there's just certain things that the makeup artist can see that I cannot. So there, I guess there's, with the type of makeup I like to do is more of like IG photo makeup versus a uh, photo shoot makeup, which is less dewy, less, there's just, it's different. There's a lot more powder involved. It's technical when it comes to makeup and professional pictures because I notice with professional pictures, it's a lot of powder versus foundation or, um, you know, yeah, foundation, which can be very dewy on the face and it can make the face look a little weird. You know, I don't know. It's kind of weird how I think about it, but when makeup artists, like when we were in LA and that makeup artist came to do my makeup, she applied more powder contour and more powder than I typically would, and it made my photos look amazing because I'm typically more dewy in the face when I do my own makeup. So
Mm.
I think it's beneficial if you can find a really good makeup artist that has experience and is affordable because they can get expensive.
And Chi?
Yeah, I think it's really important because I try, but I just don't think I'm a makeup artist in any way. So, um, yeah, so I tried doing my makeup for even page shoots like print, and you can pull it up. I even when I look at it, like it was a cool photo, but I'm still like kind of cringing. Um, um, I,
Same.
I'd rather have like a professional, and I think it could be beneficial for them too, because they can showcase like their work. I really like meeting makeup artists on set. Like last time you met Kavia, was her name Kavia or Katia? She was
Yeah.
so cool, and seeing all the other work she's done, I think it's just really cool. One of the best photographers I've worked with before, he brought a hair artist and he also brought a makeup artist. And that's one of the best times, the first time I've had black hair done in a jiffy for a photo
Mm,
shoot.
mm.
I cannot find a hairstylist for my hair, but I was able to get my natural hair done, um, you know, and makeup done right before a shoot in a quick amount of time. I was just, it just made such a difference to that photo.
And does it make you both feel more confident about the photo shoot you're about to do when you have your makeup done by a makeup artist or having one on
Yeah.
set?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. That's good to hear. So photographers, even if you're doing trade shoot, maybe you want to make sure you have a network of makeup artists, or same approach with the trade. Get a makeup artist a part of the collab there, because a lot of them want work for their portfolio too. I know models that, I mean, a makeup artist that literally, I think Katya was one of them. She'll literally set 6 days a week available for paid work, and then 1 day a week for trade for content, because we all need content. So
Right.
yeah, they want photos for the same thing. Uh oh, okay. Yes. Okay, coolly. Oh,
Also, an experienced makeup artist, because if you get a new, a newly makeup artist, it's like you have to be careful with that too, being a model, because you want to make sure that the makeup is the brushes are cleaned, or you don't break out after, or whatever the case. It If it's an experienced makeup artist that is willing to do at least one TFP, that's great. Then I would trust that makeup artist, because she has experience with the makeup and not using same equipment on other models as well.
Right.
yeah. So you both do similar kind of research, background research, as you would the photographer. Same thing with the makeup artist. Have you done that before?
Yeah.
Um, that's something I'm learning now, because I don't always have that option, especially when we do TFB. It's kind of hard to get an MUA, and that's usually organized by the photographer. Sometimes I try
Okay.
to get that, and it's hard to get schedules matched. So you're just kind of lucky to have an MUA sometimes. So I like to come with my own foundation or my brushes, and I ask them, like, you can use my brushes instead, for example. And I can also adjust my makeup a little bit so that way it's not too crazy for me. I just like a clean look. Um, so I'm like, at bare minimum, let me just look clean, like my normal self, um, and not like some crazy looking person. I don't know, but yeah. So that's how I go about it. Well, one thing I wanted to say before
Yes.
I head out was, I think one thing that stands out from all everything we're saying is that if a photographer has really good intentions and is really willing to step up their game, their book, really wants to create high quality work, I think they will get really good TFP collaborations, because they're about it. They have their setup, they have equipment, they have a vision. As long as those things are very clear and they're not playing with they're just taking photos for the heck of taking photos, I think it works out. And that's what I typically look for. I'm not as like picky, because I kind of understand, like I went from making kind of mistakes and not knowing what I wanted. So I'm flexible in that way, but I always look out to see that you actually are trying to get somewhere.
That you're serious about putting together a quality project.
Yeah, exactly.
And Sandy, any last minute about that? About
No,
quality of
I
potential?
would just say, just do your research. Um,
What
Look
about
at
to the
his
photographers?
portfolio.
How do they make themselves more enticing for you to work with on the way out? Well, how do you know?
Be open to our ideas. Don't be
Oh,
so hell bent on your ideas, because your ideas may not work for us. We have a different outlook on what we're trying to do.
that
We have a different
that's okay.
audience that we're trying to reach as well. So if we can come to a common ground, then then success to both. But I
Yeah.
think open mind and flexibility and letting that model, experience her own craft within that photo with suggestions, creative criticism will go a long way, because then I'll say, oh, well, I would love to work with you again, on a paid gig, or, something like that. Just make the experience very um, easy with
Fair enough.
good suggestions,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay, so be open-minded to listening to your both your perspectives and input when it comes to the project, so that at the end you both win and you leave positive. That never hurts. But
Yeah.
you be
Yes.
yeah, and I've heard plenty of times the opposite. So this is good words of advice. You're hearing it from, I don't want to say the horse's mouth, but from the lady's mouth.
Oh,
And I'll go for it.
Oh, I have one more thing, just to jump off of what Sandy said about giving like creative feedback. I found it really helpful. Another benefit of TFPs for models and photographers is being able to see what's working and what's not working when it
Mm,
comes to photos. Um, you can't just be like pressing buttons, especially if you're learning. You have to look and see that the photo looks good, and you have to show the model too, especially if you're not sure, to make sure that what you're shooting or the thing you have in your head is matching what they want. And also the thing the model is doing. I mean, we did this at a photo shoot. It was super helpful for me because I love dancing and I love moving around. So I really appreciated being able to get feedback on like movement, that what I have in my head is not matching what's coming out. And some photographers, they just don't know sometimes.
mm,
um,
mm,
they don't say when your hair is off. They don't say when your makeup is running. They don't say when your shirt is too wrinkled. Like
mm.
these are the things that I really want to see, and not to have to fix everything with Photoshop. So if you're gonna do TFP, at least like these are the just for practice. Like I want to get that feedback and make sure that I'm learning from that experience, because it's not just about the photos. It's about you know enhancing our craft.
Totally. I think that's a great that's great advice right there. That it's just not about the always about completely the photos, but the engagement, and how do we improve from when before the photo shoot to now, you know? And because every shoot should be a learning experience, or at least a fun one. Um and yes, I think you learned, like, when we shot, it was like, oh, okay, Robert communicates this particular way, and not every photographer approaches it the same way, But I appreciate that you're super flexible, and not like I've had models like, well, this other guy does it this particular way. I'm like, well, that's good. This isn't his space, nor his camera. You know what I mean? And you're very open and flexible. I appreciate that. So with that said, our beautiful guests have to step out, folks. With oh, okay, all right. I see some questions. I'm sorry. They both have to step out. First and foremost, Sandy, where can they find you at? Come on now, where
On
can they find you at?
Let me wait till that's done, Rob. On Instagram, Beauty and the Sting.
What?
I Rob put the description right there, right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a description down below where you can collect, where she can collect more followers, because you need to go follow her. Otherwise, that's a big L for you. Okay, you may better go follow her. All right, and Chi,
Yeah.
come on now.
Right. So on Instagram, you can find me at Live Your Chi for my just regular everyday life, and then at Your Life Fit for mostly my modeling. I'm trying to build my modeling portfolio again from scratch. Try to make sure that I'm putting myself out there the right way. I also teach dance. So I teach dance at Aerial Dance Studios in Campbell. If you're ever in the area, or if you want a private lesson, so hit me up.
That's
At Live
amazing.
Your Chi. Yeah, I teach salsa and Afrobeat.
Nice.
Real quick, ladies, I know you both have to get out of here, but Venusa has a quick question specifically for you both. Do you have a
I,
hot second?
yeah.
Huh?
I
Okay.
just
All
they're
right. Look at that, Vanu. Hey,
so
Vanusa.
sweet.
Oh my God. Look what you did. I had to give them both a coin. All right. Collect your coins. Mario says so. Question to the girls. Hi, girls. I'm new in modeling. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Here
Oh
we
my
go.
god.
Hi, girls. I'm new in modeling industry and I have a lot to learn. What would you say to new models? Gee,
Oh,
I know you
check
got
out
it.
my model chat because I actually interviewed Beauty and Staying Sandra on there. Uh,
That's
that's one of the things I'd say. Two birds with one stone. But I'd say, like, yeah, research is definitely the first key. Um, and know what you're bringing to the table, like, know what your value is, because models are getting replaced by avatars and CGI right now. There's, with the current situation, Instagram, people want brand ambassadors. They're not gonna pay them. They just want them to buy their stuff. There's just so much bullshit going on in this industry. So you have to really know exactly what you're trying to do, like your purpose. And that's what I, was asking you, um, Sandra, because it's kind of like dire time right now. So
Yes, and that's why I said for the new models and based off my life experience, I'm gonna be 36. I'm telling you, younger girls, you cannot be
You look
scared.
great.
You have to, thank you. You have to get out there and not have a care in the world and just do your thing. I was so shit scared and just worried about who's going to judge me, who's going to, no. You guys have to go in there with a not with an attitude because you don't want to turn people off, but with a great attitude, with above par confidence, please, and just do your thing and make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into, you know what you're going to present, you know how to do strut your stuff. Just do it. Don't be scared.
And I'll throw in there, Venusa, is make sure that you're creating a body of work for the kind of work you want to actually get paid for, right? So your portfolio should reflect directly, oh, this is the kind of modeling I'm not only want to be a part of, but I'm proud to be a part of. So if you're doing tons of, I know her pretty well, so I know she's not. She's very sweet. But let's say if you're doing tons of lingerie, but you want to do high end fashion. Well, those two things, those clients may not dig that you're doing all this other risque lingerie, but you want to wear Christian Dior, and it's just not going to match. It may or may not, but you just have to be mindful because very easily you get pigeonholed into that's who you are. The market dictates who you are. So that's why it's imperative that you control your branding by doing the quality of work and working with the photographers that can help you with that. So therefore, you're further not only increasing the strength of your brand because it has a consistent voice throughout your social media, your portfolio, and everything else. And then also you're letting everybody know what it is you're here to do. I am this type. Oh, you need that? That's what I do. That's what I specialize in. Because as I always said, specialists get paid more. All right. So the more focused you can be, the more you can protect your brand. And then therefore, the more valuable you are. Doesn't mean you're going to get every gig, but you will be more like, oh, I know the person, she'll be able to kill it for me. So and trust me, as a photographer, I think about that. Oh, I got this project. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Um, uh like with Sandra, I was like, oh, let's do beauty. Why? I just love her face for beauty work, her bone structure, etc. So it's like, and now that I work with Chi, I already have projects in my mind. I'm like, oh, I already know the first top 3 models I want to work with because I see their work on top of the work ethic. Venusa, your work ethic is awesome. Your personality is awesome. Just make sure you have a very clear definition of what kind of portfolio you want to create for the kind of work you want to attract. So that's my take. Okay. Anyway, I hope that you agree with those two ladies. I hope so. A little tip.
absolutely, I am learning as well. That and that's what I said from the chats. I'm learning, even though I've been in this industry for 10 years, I feel like there's just so much that I didn't know, and I all of a sudden I feel like, what the hell was I doing? You know. Um, so yeah, this was really great. Thank you so much for having me. And
Oh,
yeah,
it's my
glad
pleasure.
to
Both of you are
be-
awesome. I thank you very much for your time. You gave me plenty enough, and I really appreciate it. I'll be posting the links of both of their profiles down below. All right. So, do I have a? No, I don't. Shame on me. I need an exit sound effect. That's what I'll do next, ladies. I'll get an exit. I got my intros. I need an
Hold on.
exit. All right. All right. I'll make sure I'll get that. And even if you're not on the show, I'll just do it just in your namesake. But thank you both. Make sure you go ahead and follow them both. They're fantastic in the Bay Area. Get your concept right, get your mind right, get it all packaged before you hit them up and waste their time. But they are hardworking, and trust and believe it. It makes the shoot so much easier hiring or working with professional models. Lord have mercy. Like I said, 4 looks she and I did about 10 days ago or whatever it was. In 45 minutes, I couldn't believe it, but she looked me dead in my face every time. We can do this. We can do this. And I honestly didn't think we could. But she proved me wrong. You better believe it. That was a big L on my part for not believing, and she proved it and shut my mouth. All right. So you both have a great evening. All right. Wave goodbye. There you go. And
Night.
have a great one. Thank you both. Okay.
Bye.
So, with that said, thank you everyone. I do have some comments. Let's get to some comments because I do have a few things I still want to go over. Without the mothers. All right, let me turn this off. Boom. Let's get to these comments. Vic comes in and said, I had a network of wardrobe stylists, makeup artists, but they have both moved out of Florida. Okay, that sucks. Gotta rebuild. Yes, brother. Let me tell you, I'm constantly on the lookout for makeup artists for sure, but wardrobe stylist, man, now that even here in the Bay Area is hard to come by, and you got to keep them close to the chest, and if you can find them, you can obviously use, let's just say, the search function in Instagram and type in, Miami wardrobe stylist or Florida fashion stylist and see what you can find. But yes, wardrobe stylists are hard because a lot of people who say they're stylists or fashion stylists are people who just like dressing others. Okay. That is not it. Wardrobe stylist either has their own collection to pull from, their own closet full of stuff they bought from vintage shops and whatnot and collected, just like we collect lenses and gear and lighting and stands and whatnot. Wardrobe stylists do the same thing, but when they go out vintage shopping, Goodwill, whatever, they all of a sudden have tons of wardrobes to pull from. So if you have concept X, they can whip something together and then show up with tons of clothes. Or they have a uh I should say or end they have good relationships with local boutiques, fashion designers, etc., which they could pull clothes from too. Those are wardrobe stylists. Those are the ones I actually want to spend time with. Those who just like dressing other people, well, congratulations, that's not that damn special. Okay. So be on the lookout between people who just like dressing folks and those who are actually talented in the craft of being a wardrobe stylist. Okay. They at least know who to pull from, and they have those relationships and make your shoot look amazing. Um, Cooley comes in. If you have a consultation with the model, then both are on the same page. Absolutely. That's the point. Have everything. That's why I say as a photographer, you're reaching out to do a TFP. If you want to make it worth it, you got to have all your ducks in a row. Okay. Concept, how much time? Oh, it'll be from 10 to 12. Where, location, estimated rough date. Obviously you shoot them like 2 or 3 dates, but like, oh, I want to shoot March 12th or whatever. And then who's involved, whether makeup is, and whether it's compensated or not. Like these are some basic things you should have them involved, especially if you're reaching out to a model who's a bit more experienced than where you're currently at. and it helps them to feel like you've got not only things in control, but it also sends a signal that they're not wasting their time. Okay. We got Venusa. All right, those are that. Let me go ahead and go over the last bit of questions. Okay, so setting up a trade shoot. All right. It kind of goes to what I just said. First is put together a simple mood board. All right. That can be just through Pinterest or Google Images, having a set of images of not only what particular kind of wardrobe, the direction of the lighting, whether it be natural lighting or studio strobes or whatever. Wardrobe could be in a selection of photos, hair, makeup, etc. So get together like a little mood board. Um, for your not only for the model, but in case you have any others on your creative team. This is I would share all that. I use boards on Pinterest and I just pin a bunch of photos to it and then I share that link to my creative team or in this case the model. Ideally I would have all this together before I reach out to everybody. It further increases the chance of you locking down that trade shoot with said talent. Okay. Oh wow, he's got this all together. I like the direction. Let's do this. Okay. When you reach out, again, be very honest. Just like when she was talking about doing a product shoot, how should she go about it? Same thing. What's the concept? When? What time? Dates, compensation, whether it's free or not, and if it's free, it's cool. Or hey, it's free, but I got coffee and breakfast treats on me. Just be honest, be straight up, and then what do people get? What's the compensation? In this case, if it's TFP, how many photos and what's the turnaround? Oh, within 2 weeks, and then stick to it. I like to overpromise under. What is it? Wait, over. Oh shoot. Uh, Under promise, over deliver. Okay. If you say 2 weeks, you deliver in a week, you look like a boss. All right. Um, so that's how I set up my trade shoots. And then a lot of them are done through Instagram, quite honestly. I won't put all my eggs in one basket, meaning I won't just reach out to one model. I'll reach out to three, see who reaches out back because a lot of times some of them don't reach back. They think they're too good. They don't even reach it back out at all. Some may take forever to reach back, whatever. One might be, dragging their feet, they get at you once a day or once every other day. So I'll reach out to 3 or 5 of them and then see. And as long as I get one, I'm a winner. Then make the shoot so darn bad the other 4 wish they were a part of it. All right. So that's how I'd set up photo shoots. If you have any detailed questions, you can post your comments. All right. You go ahead and do that. You know what time it is. We have another comment coming in from Kool-Aid. How do you connect with model agencies? All right. Well, that sounds like a video. Cooley. That sounds like, let me write this down. That's a great freaking idea. All right. Let me go ahead and write that on my list of topics, folks. You folks inspire me. Trust and believe it. You guys really do. I want to write that. Reaching out to model agency. Okay. I have an idea. I might go live. I might try to see if I can get an agent on live on this show. Let's talk photography. What would you think if I was able to get a model agent live on this show to answer such questions? What do you think, Cooley? Let me know, man. Come on now. I know. I'm already thinking I'd be absolutely excited. I'd watch my own show. How about that? If I get an agent on here from a model agency to help answer such questions, I'd rewatch my own show. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's how excited I'd be. I'd even like my own video. Okay, so that's what I would do. I'd like my own video. I'd even share my own video. You believe that? That's what I would do. But that's a great question, Cooley. So overall, I do a lot of research when I look for agents, or agencies to work with. I have a particular relationship with one in San Francisco called MDT Agency, Marla Del Talent. and they have a great staff, and they do acting. So they do on camera, off camera talent. So models to actors, etc., voiceovers. And I've worked with them for years, and they have some great talent. But what I did is I reached out to a bunch of agencies, and a bunch of them said didn't reply to me. Some said cool, and I did test shoots with their models. But this one I have a very closer relationship with, and and I've had it for maybe, gosh, 7 years now, something like that, 6 or 7 years working with them. So, but to work, you gotta create the portfolio that attracts them. Just like what I said earlier with the models, create the kind of work that you wanna get paid for. So if you're researching to work with X kind of agency, do the research, type in San Francisco model agencies or wherever you're at, Tennessee model agencies, whatever market. And then you look at those agencies and you see a few that really stick out to you. Look at the kind of work their talent is showcasing, and then make sure that kind of work is in your portfolio, and then reach out to them and say, "Hey, do you want to do a trade shoot? With your I work with the new face. I'll say the new faces. Oh, you got any new faces that need work? I'm down to shoot for free. What's up? But you got to have the work that will benefit that model to get hired, because they use those photos to promote those models or talent to get bookings, because other that's how the agencies get paid. So if they can't use those photos to sell the model to get said project, it's worthless. That's why I said if they're doing lingerie and all this risque stuff, boudoir, whatnot, that might not exactly work when they're trying to sell themselves to get said project for an acting gig. So that's why you have to do your research. This is a business, and you have to move accordingly. Otherwise, if you're just doing this for fun, well, then Mazel Tov, have a great time. All right. So I hope that helps. I'm going to go in more detail. I think that's a fantastic video topic, Cooley. So I'm going to work on putting that as a future show for Let's Talk Photography. All right, next one. RBJ Photography says, I love your approach. Oh, man, I'm telling you, that just makes me want to do this. I got a few hands for you. All right, thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. And I appreciate your support, okay? Your support is going to help me fill up this sound bank. I got 8 more sound banks that need some great sound effects. And if I don't fill them up soon, I'm going to feel like a loser. Okay? So I don't want to do that, RBJ. So if you got any suggestions of cool sound effects, post them down below, please. Or hit me up on Instagram, okay? And DMs. Hey, check out this cool sound effect. Cooley says, with a name like Cooley, all about inspired. Yeah, you better believe it, man. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. That's why you're gonna get a good old Macho Man Randy Savage. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate the inspiration, man. I really do. You all inspire me, quite honestly. RBJ comes in. Would love it, especially if you allow a panel of photographers and models to interact live together. Well, that, my friend, sounds interesting. Huh. Let me think. I have an idea. Okay. I like that. Models and photographers. See, I got to think of a topic. And dude, oh my God, I got one. Okay, cool. All right, RBJ, thank you very much, man. I'm gonna have to give you a coin for that one. All right, that's a Mario coin. Make sure you save those. They are worth nothing. All right, so moving right along. Venusa says, I would love that too. Oh my God, that's what I'm talking about. All right, Venusa. All right, you want me to come up with that topic with the model agency? I will do that. That hmm. Hmm. All right, I'm gonna make it happen, folks. You guys ask, I shall deliver. I shall deliver. Cool. Cooley comes in, super cool. Hey, man, you know what? You know what? Let me see if I got something else for you. Okay. I don't have much for you, but I do have a little bit of rhythm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's for you, Cooley. Appreciate it. Cooley. I appreciate his support. He tunes in every episode. That's what I'm talking about. He almost got into a car accident once. To come to tune in live. That's what I'm talking about. Dedication. RBJ says, with the agency to ask questions. 100%. Absolutely. I think that's would be the most valuable part is not only would I ask questions, of course, I want all of you to be a part of the discussion. That's the point of Let's Talk Photography. I don't want let's me talk about photography. I want to hear all of you talk about photography because this is a community and because of your support tuning in, it only makes me want to further increase the quality of the content and dedicate more time create and inviting more awesome guests. All right. Oh, look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe it. Oh, oh, here we go. Super chat coming in.
Here comes the money.
Wow. Wow. Zet Knight with the $5 holla. What the heck? Oh, let me get out my Mario brother. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. That's right. That was 5 coins coming at him. Great discussion. I learned a lot. I'm going to head to bed now. Well, there you go, brother. Hey, that's what I do. I want to drop so much knowledge, you gotta rest. You know what I mean? Well, thank you very much, Set Night. I really appreciate the support. I appreciate all of you. But don't worry, you don't have to do a super chat to support. Come on now. You know what you can do? It's very easy. All you got to do is smash that like, that share, and subscribe to my channel. Okay. So make sure you subscribe Zet Night. Hopefully you do. I'll be going live next week. I got an awesome show for all of you, of course, because that's what I do. All right. Um, I still got stuff to cover here, folks. So don't you worry. Where in the world is my comments? Boom, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Same thing by Coolio. Hey, Coolio. Hey, I like Coolio. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'll call. That's it. That's it. That's it right there. That's it right there. Okay. Coolio. That's your nickname right there. My Midwestern brethren right there. All right. So don't take it as disrespect. Okay, Cooley. It's Coolio now when you enter this room. We enter this building. All right. RBJ says, I'm referring to creating a StreamYard type setup with photographers and models to interact live with the agency to ask questions. I think I think I know what you meant. Okay. I think I knew what you meant. So and RBJ, let me know. Thumbs up. Are we talking about I invite the guest on, right? Just like I did with the models, and then I invite photographers as well and models on live, and we ask the agents questions. Is that what we're talking about? Let me know, RBJ. If so, then for sure, I got you. Oh my God. Hold on. This is what I'm talking about, folks. Oh, I need to, RBJ coming in heavy. Well, Venusa's clapping over here because I think she just thinks I'm entertaining the hell out of her over here. But
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
that's
Money
what I'm
talk.
talking about. Yeah. RBJ with the $5 holla. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm telling you, folks, you guys are coming in heavy. It makes me want to, it only motivates me. Your support is my caffeine. Let me tell you. Right now it's about 8 p.m. and I'm wide awake, baby. Let me tell you. Okay, RBJ, thank you very much for your support. And brother, let me tell you, oh, I love that photo you got there, man. That's pretty sweet. I like the colors, man. Thumbs up. Okay, cool. So I'll invite a couple and then what we could do is this. Dang, okay, I want to set this up. Okay. RBJ, if you could follow, if you message me on Instagram, Robert Silver Photography, DM me. All right. We'll exchange connect. If you want to jump in as one of the guests, that would be awesome. And then I'll get one model or two. And because I forgot how many I think I could have. I got to double check how many I could have at once on StreamYard. I think it's like 10, but I don't want it too crazy. And then if you want to be one of them, RBJ, message me and I'll lock it in. Get your email and then we'll make that happen because these are great suggestions. And then so I really appreciate that. Wow, this is awesome. Thank you very much, everyone. Oh, look, Venusa's back in. Make sure you go follow her now. Venusa's on IG here. Let me just see. Let me get to her. Let me shout her out. Okay, Venusa Webster. There she goes. 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 All right. Make sure you come on, folks. Show some love. All right. Boom. There you go. Show some love to Venusa right there. Okay. Here she is on Instagram, Venusa Webster. Look at these are photos that her and I did. Well, some of them. Okay, that's something I just did. And then with her. But these are photos we've done. And then here she is right here, looking smoking. She's awesome. And believe it or not, she's the nicest person. She's so sweet. She's so awesome. Here she is here. Look at the bone structure, though. That's like $1 million bone structure. People pay for that. Okay. Here's another photo we did. Okay, that's the expanded version. All right. And then okay. That's a little video she put together. 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh. Bang, baby. Bam. Okay. So those are some of the photos. She's really awesome. She's actually a fitness. She's certified in the fitness game. She ain't playing. Okay. So there she is. All right. So go ahead and follow her. She's been watching this whole time. I'm enjoying everything here. Oh, okay. Well, oh my goodness. That means I gotta keep this up. I gotta keep it up. Um, there we go. Coolio says, "That's a lot of tea. You better believe it, brother." Okay. You know, ironically, I actually need more green tea. So tomorrow, I have a more of a slow day. So I'm going to start the day with a good workout at 6 a.m. And then I'm done about 10, 11 a.m. And then I got to go grocery shopping. Tea is on the way because of you folks. I'm about to get my green tea on. So thank you everybody for that, for the support and the super chats, man. It really is a huge help. Venusa comes back in. Yeah, it's me. You better believe I know it's you, girl. You know it. I just want to make sure they know and that they follow you on Instagram. Pie comes in. Hey, and Pie is another one of my Patreon members. Let me hit him the righteous way.
Here comes the money.
Okay, thank you very much, Pie, for the continued support. Ladies, don't be going out paying for wait, what? Hold on. Hold on. Make sure I understand this. Oh yeah, be going out pay. Yeah, they don't pay for the no, somebody else is paying for those bone structures. You better believe it. You better believe it. They ain't paying. Bone structure, play with the uniform you were issued. Oh, play with the okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding this one here, Pie. Bone structure. Oh, well, I'm telling you, um, as I've become more selective with my time, which I hope you all are too, because you're focused. And as I said about branding, you should be shooting with a purpose. That's the point with TFP. And I want to get to that in a second, that you should be shooting with a purpose. All right. And so when you do get a model and you have great chemistry, these are the particular kind of features where, in which, at least for me, for my style of photography, that I look for, that's going to help elevate whatever project I have a part of. And then this is where in which I make sure that having her a model like Venusa in my orbit as a friend and as well as just someone to rely on allows me to make sure that my time's not wasted and that the projects that we're going to create are going to come out amazing. Because those photos you saw that we did in studio, those were JPEGs. Because I shot it with the Lumix S5 Mark II, and that camera. Hold on, let me see if I could show you better quality versions of it. S5 Mark II. Give me a second, folks. I'm sorry. S5 Mark II. Cool. So here they are. Okay, I'm going to show you the boom. Let's stop. Give me a second, folks. Give me a second. Be patient with me here, please. So check this out. These are these are photos that Venusa and I did, and I shot these raw plus JPEG. But since Lightroom's latest version doesn't have the raw, can't work with the new Lumix S5 Mark II raw files yet, I was only able to use the JPEGs, the large fine JPEGs. So these are JPEG images, and I was blown away that the JPEGs were looking smooth. Like they were really great to work with. I didn't have to push and pull it too much, and quite honestly, I'm loving the results. The colors look great. Minor adjustments, but I was able to uh, s- um, edit them the way I wanted it. and then turn them over to Venusa really quick, like within a couple of days. So shout out to Lumix for creating some fantastic JPEG images. And it made me think, honestly, JPEGs ain't that bad, if you just need it in a crunch and it's not for a client project. Like if you got everything right, the lighting right, everything right, you'll save tons of space and they look fantastic. And these are totally printable, they're large. And I'm definitely happy with the results. And there you go, JPEG baby, right there. And I think I did this with the 24 to 105 f4 lens, a Lumix S lens. All right. So there you go. That's Venusa. Go make sure you go ahead and follow her on Instagram. Okay. There she is there. Okay. And those are some other photos I took with the Lumix S. But anyway. All right. I don't know how that became a little promotion fest for Venusa, but anyway, that's her right there, Venusa Webster. All right. Let's get back to it, okay? Let's not get distracted. Gotta stay focused, gentlemen. And ladies and gents, excuse me. Here we go. All right, so we're talking about setting up a photo shoot. What are some ways to win in shooting TFP? Well, that's very easy. Make sure that it's extremely beneficial. You heard that commonly spoken by the models. They both said, okay, I'm not totally against TFP, but as they become more experienced and better at their craft, they're more cautious about whether how they choose to spend their time and who to spend their time with. They do a lot more research before they just say yes. Okay. And I actually applaud them for that. But on your end, that's why I said make sure you do all your research. You put your mood board together, as I said, mentioned earlier, when it comes to setting up a trade shoot. If you do all that, then you're already setting the tone that, hey, I want you to win in this project too. Another key thing that the models mentioned was listening to them. Make sure that their input is heard and valued, meaning if it is a valid suggestion, incorporate that into the shoot. Or maybe just wholeheartedly, if it has nothing to do with your shoot, maybe you could find some meeting of the mind, something in the middle where in which your concept, her concept can work together. Okay. Because they'll appreciate it. And models are one of the best. That's right. I'm gonna say it. One of the best advocates you can have. 100%. They talk for good or for worse. All right. So let's make sure it's for good. All right. So those are two ways that I recommend. In other words, to make sure that you both win in shooting TFP. And feel free to say no. It's no there's no disrespect. You're the arbiter of your branding of your brand, what do you call it? Quality control of your branding. All right. So and you have to learn to draw the line, and saying no is okay. That actually shows a sign of professionalism, quite honestly. When you're confident enough to say, look, this isn't going to work for me, you don't have to shoot everything. That's why I shoot with a purpose. That's right. I said it. Shoot with a purpose. Okay. Do your homework, get your stuff together. That also goes the other way around. If they are reaching out to you to do a trade, does this make sense for me? Right? Is this going to enhance my work? Is this something I haven't done? Oh, I've always wanted to do X. That sounds cool. Let's go for it. Or is the model the look that you want to add? I've worked with models that not only did I was like, oh yeah, she's cool, she's attractive, whatever, but it was a completely different face that I didn't have or I wanted more of in my portfolio. That goes for even men. Or like, oh, okay, this guy looks kind of cool. I like his features, etc. I haven't shot with a male model in a while. You know what? Let's update that. Get a couple of new shots with a male model. Cool. Let's do it. And that's just because it'll enhance my portfolio. All right. So, oh shoot, series sitting and going crazy on my watch here. So those are some ways to win with TFP. Um, Oh, there's Vanessa. Vanessa. I just love seeing your emojis and you laugh, and I can hear you laugh. That's why I love seeing it. RBJ comes in. Absolutely agree. That's what I'm talking about. Too many photographers try to own the entire shoot. It's a collaboration. You're damn right. And when you try to own it, let me tell you, that's a fat L. Because the point of collab is more than two people. It's a dance. I always refer it to like a salsa, right? A creative salsa, if you will. And you both have to win. Read the book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. You got a win-win is all the way by Stephen Covey. It's a great book, actually. I recommend everybody should read that book. That's just me personally. But that's when I start to make sure that whenever I come in, uh, create new relationships, new friendships, engage with anybody in any particular way, where I know that I need something from them, I want to make sure that I'm creating an opportunity in that they get something out of me that they value as well. It's a win-win. All right. And put them first. Put the model first. Hey, what do you need for your portfolio? How can I help you? I'd love to work with you. Is there something I'm open? Here's my suggestion, but I'm open to hear you out. And then boom, they might just be like, you know what? I like your suggestion. Let's go for it. Awesome. Let's go. So absolutely appreciate that, RBJ. And then Coolio comes in. How do you handle a person you see and decide to shoot them? Well, first, don't shoot them with a gun. Yeah, that's right. Bad humor. Okay. Um, how do you handle a person you see and decide to shoot them? That goes back to what I said earlier in terms of setting up a TFP. And Pinterest, I think, is one of the best tools because it's free and you could pull images from other shoots or magazine editorials, etc., to help further explain your vision. All right. So if you see a model, you're like, oh wow, she'd be great. Oh, she's local too. Man, this is gonna be fantastic. You put together that mood board. Here's a few looks, showcasing your idea and your direction that you want to go. And the other thing is making sure that your work that you currently have is attractive. And it's clear and concise. If you're a portrait photographer, you shouldn't have landscapes, random birthday photos, a ski trip, and all this riffraff, knickknack, and paddywhacks. That's a fat L. Okay. Clear and concise. If I say I do beauty, portraiture, etc., I need to have headshots, some, portrait work, maybe some beauty work, whatever, things that are related to the thing that I say that I do. Right? A plumber is a plumber. A good plumber is, I don't know about plumbing, but they got they're insured, they went through an apprenticeship, they did the work, they're experts at their craft, and that's why they could command $200 an hour, 250 or whatever they charge because they've spent years honing that craft. But if you get your Uncle Jim Jam Jam, who's a handyman, he could do some plumbing, do some carpentry, do some of this. First of all, the perceived value isn't there because he's over here, he's over there, he's over here, he's over there, and then I wouldn't trust him to change the top of my toilet seat. Okay, but so you get what you pay for. You have to communicate that by making sure that your portfolio is clear and concise. This is the kind of work I do, and this is the kind of work you can trust me to do, and I do it well because you have a body of work that proves it. All right. The more focused you are, the more specialized, the more money you'll make. That's a guaranteed fact. Okay. Um. All right. That I am up to date. Let's go ahead and go back to the questions. I mean my questions. All right. Now here's some overall let's talk about this. Do you think it's worth it overall? Personally, I do think it's worth it. Matter of fact, I think it's imperative that you do TFP. I don't think you should do every TFP that comes your way, but I absolutely think it's imperative. It's a fantastic marketing tool, if you will, or strategy for you and the model. Because as I said, the model can be one of your biggest advocates. Oh, I love working with him. Oh, you need to work with him. Oh my goodness, he's great or she's great. And I just love the way blah, 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 blah. And they talk and they're usually talking to other models. Okay. And then all of a sudden now their friend model says, oh my God, she said, you were great to work with. Can I work with you? And that's kind of the reputation you want. So that's why I think TFPs are a great way to setting that bar in terms of in the marketplace of who you are and that reputation. Um, you get to experiment. Like when I get new lighting gear, I'm like, "Ooh, I want to do a TFP." I don't just say, "Oh, I want to test out my new umbrella." Like, no, no model gives a damn. Okay. But I said, okay, then I come up with a creative shoot that I will happen to be using my new umbrella, and then that's how I get to test it out, and then they get the kind of photos that they want. Again, win-win. All right. Um, so is it worth it? 100%. I just don't want you to be jumping at every single chance just because you have someone available. That's why I go back to saying what I said earlier, which is shoot with a purpose. Okay, shoot with a purpose. There has even if we all I mean, I write down ideas just like you folks inspired me today with two great ideas. I write it down on my notes here on my iMac. I'm like, okay, those are great ideas, so I don't forget it. And then I think about it. Same thing with you. You should be coming up with perhaps mood boards or Pinterest boards of ideas like, oh, I'd love to do that. Oh, I'd love to do that. Oh, I'd love to do that. I've done that when I wanted to work with gels. Researched what it would look like working with gels before I ever shot with gels. And then when the opportunity came to work with a particular model, I said, "Oh, I got this. Look at this photo. How about we do something inspired by that photo? What do you think about that colorful lighting?" And she's like, "Oh my God, it looks great." I had no clue because I'd never worked with gels how I was going to pull it off per se, but she at least was open to the ride and the journey creatively because she liked the idea of gels. So I digress. Is it worth it? 100%. But what do you think? Do you think TFPs are worth it? Has it benefited you working for free for trade? Okay. I've heard some horror stories, I've heard some great stories. I personally think it is worth it, especially if you're a emerging photographer. That's one of the ways that you answer the what do you call it? That philosophical question, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? So for you, it's like, okay, I want a great model, but you got to create great work, but you can't create great work without the great model. So that's why shooting TFP can at least slowly get to the point where your work will attract said models. That's how I work with these two, with all three of these models today. Well, three meaning Venusa, um, um, Chi, and Sandy. I had to create the body of work that they were attracted to that says, "Oh, I want to work with this person." And then thus here we are today. I've met Chi and Cindy years ago and we've kept a great relationship. And over time, I've made sure that my work is steadily trying to improve, whichever, no matter how small. And they notice. And that's why we still have a great connection, still a great relationship, working relationship, because they still see the value in working with me. I didn't stay stagnant. I made sure that my work is still elevated so that they can still feel benefit that they benefit working with me. All right. I'm walking it like I talk it, okay? Meaning that I'm not just preaching here. I'm living it. I'm living it, folks. And I would not want you to subscribe to my channel if you feel I didn't, but follow me on Instagram. Look up robertsilverphotography.com. My stuff is organic, meaning it's constantly growing. I make mistakes. I do tons of that too. And but I'm in there in the trenches with all of you, wondering if TFP is worth it for me. For me, I'm just at the point where my whether I shoot TFP, I'm just way more selective. As you become more refined, more experienced, you should, I'd hope, become uh um more selective about who and what projects you do, who you work with and what projects. And there's nothing wrong with it. As I said, it's just a sign of good experience. And it just makes you, anything that people can't really obtain, they want more of. Not everybody could buy a Bentley, but boy, it'd be kind of nice if I could get one, right? But not everybody can get one. Um, but I'm just using that as a stupid example. All right. So I hope some of this helps you all out today. All right. Let me go here. Okay. Remember, folks, come on now. Please, if you got to go, I totally understand. Just make sure you go ahead and smash that like, that share, and that subscribe. All right. What do we got here? Okay, here we go. We got Coolio coming in. Got samples for high school seniors. So did a fundraiser where they donate bags of food for sittings. Oh shoot, no, that's a freaking awesome win. Way to go. That's a great creative idea. And you get to market yourself, I hope. And I think that's a solid win. That's phenomenal. That's a great fun way. I know you're doing senior portraits and stuff, and that's a grind. That's a grind. So I tip my hat to you, my friend, for doing that senior portraits, because that's a heck of a show right there. Okay, so kudos to you. All right. And that creative idea. So that's pretty awesome. All right. We are at that time of the show. You already know, folks, what this means. Okay. Like I said, make sure you go ahead, smash that like, share, subscribe to my channel. All right. If you haven't already, shame on you. Go ahead and follow me on Facebook, Robert Silver-Photography, Instagram at Robert Silver-Photography, tickety tock tock tock, Robert Silver-Photography, and on Twitter, Robert Silver-Photog. And one of the best ways that you can I have a quick comment. What is this comment saying right here? Thank you, Venusa. Appreciate that. We love you. We love you. Thank you so much. At least I do. There you go. Thank you very much. And Cool said 3 more hours. Oh man, I can't do that. You know that. Can't do it. And I don't have that much tea. Make sure you go ahead. There's one other way to support me on a monthly basis, which helps me to improve this quality of this channel, is at Patreon, at patreon.com/Robert Silver-Photography. I drop daily educational photography content. That's right, I do. Believe it or not, I really do. And I'm always looking for something useful for all of you. Next week, I will be on Let's Talk Photography, talking about how to start your photography business. That's right. We're going to be talking about basic photography business advice, tips, and tricks. You don't want to miss it next week. Make sure you tune in. All right. And I'm going to be working on those great ideas you all mentioned. I really appreciate it. Oh, we got some great. Venusa says, thank you, Robert. Your live was amazing. Great content. Thank you very much for tuning in, Venusa. Thank you. And a big heart to you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats. Boy, that really honestly made completely my day. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You all inspire me. Okay. So, with all that said, thank you, everybody. Smash that like on the way out, please. Until next time, I'm Robert Silver. Keep shooting. Stay creative. Thank you for watching.